The New York Mets are 7-0 in series. Just beat the Phillies. But none of that matters because Robinson Cano, you are out of here.
The DFA party. Ordinarily, we don't like to like dance on people's graves, and I don't think that's what's going on here. I think it's more of a we knew the move that we had to make. We knew as fans and as logical people what should be done, and we knew that Cohen, like knowing that Cohen has the balls and the brains to do the right thing is what it's about. Robbie Cano, the Wash King, comeback scumbag of the year. It's not really even about him. I know the players love him. I know we'll get into all that. You made your money. Take your time. See you later. Goodbye. It's more about knowing that this is now a fully competent franchise. This was like one of the last pieces we needed to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've seen everything else. There was money spending and the decision-making. Knowing that you're going to cut guys and not just play the money. If this is a Wilpons-owned team, never fucking happens. Never fucking happens. That's what this is about.
And they played the Cano situation completely perfectly. You know what? They let him have his spring training. They gave him the month of April. See if he has anything left in the tank. We saw it. He did not. You could see his fucking spray chart. He could not hit a single ball to right field. All of his hits were like opposite field, infield singles. Yep. And he's washed, and now he's gone. We realized that. We paid $40 million to tell him to go do something else.
I know. Yeah, that's what people have to remember when it's like, if you're feeling bad or anything. He's going to get $40 million over the next couple of years to do absolutely fucking nothing. It's best for everybody because, like, dude, I don't know. Let's go around here because I feel like if I was ever a Major League Baseball player, a professional athlete in any way, like my last years where I am just limping around, no thank you, man. Who wants that? This was hard to watch for a month. You want to watch a whole season of this where every ball is he's late on every pitch or everything's like a little opposite field tapper in a big spot. I mean, nobody wants that, including him. He's going to get his money regardless. And like all this talk about him being a great influence, like, I don't know, man, you can still be a great influence, just not on the team. You can't just have your friends be on the team when they're bad. This is not the Lakers. It's not LeBron. It's not Russell Westbrook, not the Banana Boat gang. You can't just sign washed up players because you like them. You can still talk to them. You can still hang out with them. You can still talk baseball. You can be a great leader off the field. You just can't be on our fucking team if you can't produce in any way, shape, or form.
And when the other guys are producing, and granted, Dom wasn't producing before last night, but Dom fucking carried the team last night. And
you know what else too? There's always potential. Like there was no potential with Robinson Cano. Some people were like, "Oh, it's only April." I'm like, what has he shown that he's going to heat up? Dom's been bad, but you saw like last night is like, well, wait a minute. If there's more of a chance of that happening than Robinson Cano digging out of a hole. But you're right. Everyone else is a contributor.
And he's like 26 years old.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's 39 years old.
39 versus 26 is huge.
And this is the thing too. You're gonna you might upset. I think like Lindor and Escobar came out saying they liked Cano, or maybe it was Marte as well. But then there's guys who like Dom who are like, why the fuck did this guy just get sent down to AAA? When it's like, is this a results-driven business or is this a money-driven business? Because it's kind of like, you can only preach results so much if you're sending the guy down who's better than Robinson Cano's corpse. So also, Uncle Stevie.
If you ask those guys about Dom Smith, they would be like, we want him around too. Nobody's going to be like, actually give you an answer on who they think should be sent down or released. Everyone's going to talk good about everybody else because this, that's just, you're all professionals here. But whether it's a GM thing or an owner thing, like whoever has been making those decisions in the past, from Jeff to all of our litany of bad management, whoever is making that choice now, maybe Buck was involved in it too, being like, listen, we need ball players, whatever the brain trust was who decided to do this. I mean, it's crazy that it was even being debated because like you look at the list of guys like Dom Smith, we just talked about. J.D. Davis, worst glove in the world, but still can hit. My guy, Janko, I actually put in a good word for him. So I don't know if you guys know, but I reached out to Cohen. I said, you can't cut one of our guys. He's one of our guys on We Gotta Believe. You can't cut guys. And Luis Guillorme is like, he hasn't been great either, but like, does all of these guys have a resume or a reason to be more deserving over Robinson Cano? And so, like, as crazy as that all is, I do think that on top of like what was on the surface here, I think there's a lot at play of like kind of like a big picture thing. Like, how do you treat veterans, and how do you, with the players union and all that kind of shit, where it's like, you can't just shit on veterans and cut them. But I think they did like what Meek said. They gave him a shot.
Yeah.
They gave him his time, and they did it in a way where it's okay in order to let that guy go.
This is also what you get when you have a money guy.
No, but there's a spray chart. You can see it. Everything the other way. He could not pull a single ball outside that little one to second base.
Yeah, I mean, he's washed, dude. You lose that bat speed in your life, and you don't have PEDs, your career's over.
Brody's folly. Brody's folly is fucking over with. I have to find the Robinson Cano gif of me losing my mind, because when that trade happened, we thought it was going to be the Wilpons the rest of our lives, wheeling out his corpse no matter what, because he was getting paid all that money. We had Edwin Diaz, who was obviously getting tattooed because the balls were juiced as fuck and he couldn't throw his slider the right way. And now everything, and we thought Kalenic was going to become the next Mike Trout. And in a few years' time, Cano's gone. Diaz is fucking awesome right now. And Kalenic is batting worse than Robinson Cano. It's crazy land. Everything has turned positive.
And that just doesn't happen for us as a fan base. Like, so many things are going right, from fucking no-hitters to upper management decisions to like
all-stars getting nails in the face and they're totally fine.
Teams are walking in runs or wild pitches with the bases loaded, like things that usually are happening to us. Drop fly balls, our balls are dropping in for hits. Like, everything is good, and I really don't know how to behave. I'm just waiting for everything to even out, but it's just the difference is that you have real ball players. None of it is like smoke and mirrors. These are all good players. Shout out to Max hitting the over last night. He almost hit the over in like fucking 2.5 innings. Shout out to Marte getting his hit, and of course the team getting the win. So that was our Max and Marte parlay last night. And so on top of it, on the win, I'm hoping you guys made a bunch of money as well. So I mean, everything's coming up Mets. It's crazy.
In retrospect, it's crazy that we even thought that they were going to keep him. Like $40 million, he bought a fucking stick figure for $100 million, and he's a money guy. So he's like, I owe you $40 million, regardless of if you play or not for the next 2 years. I'm gonna get pissed off watching you steal my money. No, go away, and I'll send you a check every month.
I will say it's got to be a testament to like how much of a good guy he is around the clubhouse, because he's 40, he's bad, and he's like an admitted and caught steroid user. Usually that guy is not like, nobody gives a fuck about him. And the fact that the team still was like, well, we got to do the right thing. And the fact that he was friends with everybody, I think shows that he probably is a pretty cool dude. But like, sorry, man. You know what? Like, Clem's a cool dude too. Are we gonna choose? Are we gonna put him on the lineup?
Put Clem
tired right now. What the fuck?
Like, can you imagine? Like, it's like Lil Sass's draft skit. Imagine if they were like, we've sent down Yohan Lopez and we've released Cano and we've added Clem to the 26-man roster.
He's gonna get picked up by like the Orioles too, like some poverty franchise. The Mets are picking up the tab. Yeah, we'll run him out there. Why not?
Yeah,
and that's the difference between what we were and what we are. Because, like you said, if it's the Wilpon era, he is not only playing, he's not only on the roster, he's going to be at second base every single.
He's batting third tonight,
and you're just watching the team from that point forward. That was the weird part too, because it's like, let's say they keep Cano. It's such a different atmosphere in the clubhouse with the fucking Braves coming to town, the defending champions. And now you're like, shit, we're on like the 7-series streak. And now we feel shitty, even with coming off of a no-hitter, because we got rid of somebody who was actually productive.
Deserves it, yeah. And all those guys, like all the Lindor quotes, like I said, I think all of those guys talking good about him probably do like him and probably would say nice things about every player there. But deep down in their hearts, in their brains, like they know what's up. Mm-hmm. They're not going to say anything out loud. But, a guy like Jankowski with his speed and his defense, like players know that shit matters. So, like, if some bum was just strolling in there while like a kid playing his ass off was heading down, that is not the vibe you want, man. Mm-hmm. It is silly in retrospect that, we ever thought it would be anything else. But that's because we're battered and beaten from an old era.
Yep. Shit is different. This team is different. Fuck, this franchise is different. This world is different. And I swear, the next motherfucker that tells me it's only May, after telling me all of April, it's only April, then you're going to tell me it's only June, then you're going to tell me it's only game 1 of the World Series, can suck my small, bruised, battered heart dick right now, because I don't even know what that doesn't even make sense. I'm just so fucking annoyed by people telling me this team is the same team when we just cut a $40 million albatross through a no-hitter and are 7-0 on series this year.
Yeah, that's hack bullshit. I get every single night this week, I get a text from Shane Gillis talking shit about the Phillies. And he's saying, whatever, dude, it's the same old Mets. It's the Mets and Jets, all that shit, just talking shit about me. That's hack talk. Because anybody who's watching and anybody who is paying attention can see the difference in how the team, and I don't expect them to, by the way. I expect everyone to just say, who cares, bro? It's the Mets. You always do this. It's only April. All of that. Because I understand you're not watching the New York Mets day in and day out unless you're freaks like us. But I'm just here to tell you, all the times that we've gotten excited, where in the back of our mind, we knew it was kind of smoke and mirrors. All the times that we were like, let's just ride this wave, but we know that we're not really that talented. All the times that we knew there's other teams ahead of us that are all better than us, like many, many teams. Yeah, that was a different time. Just know now, when we're talking shit and we're getting cocky and we're telling you the Mets are a good team, it's the real fucking deal. We have 4 players in the top 15. We've got guys hitting. We've got guys pitching. We've got the bullpen now coming around. Everything's starting to click. So I get it. You can say it's April all you want. You can do LOL Mets all you want. Just know you're being a hack. And if you're okay with that, I'm okay with that. Fine.
And listen, it's a celebration right now. We are kind of dancing on a man's grave, which again, I'm not going to shed a tear for Robbie Cano making $40 million to do absolutely nothing. I would have loved to if Steve Cohen if Cano retired and then it's we're going to hire Robinson Cano to be our fucking assistant to the assistant hitting coach for $40 million for the next years, just to keep him in the clubhouse if that's what he wanted.
Is that kind of shit allowed? People were like, why don't you hire him as a coach? And I was like, is that?
It's definitely allowed. It's just not likely.
The players union hits too. If
when the Yankees made A-Rod a special hitting coach or whatever, that was just to pay out his contract. They didn't actually want him around, right? But in this case, is there a way where he could say I'm done as a player and we hire him back as a manager? Or
they did that with Ichiro, and then he played when they went to Japan. They did that with Ichiro for the Mariners.
Yeah, if he wants to be an ambassador or something, I'm sure they can work something out. But it's also do you really want to be around a team that much?
It just feels like a loophole that they would try to not allow because it allows you to get out of salary cap and shit like that. But I mean, yeah, if people love him as much as if he is some grand influence, I don't know, let him keep doing that then. Who fucking knows?